video series. Today we are going to be talking about dismantling and what does that mean and how can you best prepare for things that are changing by things coming apart. So first, let me say that I am not a therapist. I do what is called energy psychology. This is a specific way of addressing patterns in your energy field, both physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, that are fully aligned to the soul. And what I help people do is align so they are more congruent within, called being in sync. So that is what I do. And I do that over the phone and in video sessions. And yeah, so that's also known as a healer or somebody who is just supporting others in becoming more aligned. So today the topic is about dismantling. And what is a dismantling? Dismantling is a breaking down of systems, ways of thinking, ways of processing. And when things are dismantled, it could feel like a breakdown, right? So because when the dismantling is in process, it's a coming apart. And so humans have been very conditioned to be creatures of habit. And when the habitual aspects are influenced, it can cause a lot of distress. So, I'm sorry. I don't know how this guy keeps on getting on here. Hi, Eric. I was just trying to get rid of somebody. It's so good to see you. Anyways, the chats are very interesting. Not all are as nice as you, Eric, and I appreciate you being here. And your support and encouragement is beautiful. And I love that you always say hello, even when we miss each other on these lives. So thank you for being here. It's just you and I today. But if other people join on, so that would be great as well. I'm talking about dismantling and how important it is because when things start to fall apart, oftentimes people feel like it is their job to make things go back to the way they used to be. And oftentimes when relationships fall apart, marriages fall apart, family dynamics fall apart, sometimes that falling apart is a rebirth, a way to reignite what should have been all along. So, what I would offer is that a dismantling is always going to be experienced from your access point of perception. So, how you are choosing to perceive what it is that is coming apart. So, one of the things in the New Age philosophy, and even in general public, most people talk about how the financial market's going to crash, and and that there's going to be a recession, and there's going to be all kinds of horrible things that may happen, and there may be things that happen that are extremely uncomfortable for the vast majority of humanity. I personally have been preparing myself to be in service of humanity because of those things. However, most people are going to go into a state of reaction and resistance and trauma and fear, and that is going to make them very vulnerable. So when dismantling is occurring, to the best of your ability, you want to be in a place of neutrality where you're not judging it good or bad, but you're just seeing it for what it is. Another way of saying it is to be a compassionate witness to your own experience and to that of others. There might be people that come completely unhinged and unraveled. That's going to be something that happens, but it doesn't have to be you. And so the more practiced you become at being neutral about what it is that's coming apart, you can have an opinion and not be attached to it. So those would be good practices to start to build that skill set now, because dismantling is going, it's happening. It's happening in the non-physical, which means it's going to come into the physical, because everything that happens begins in the non-physical. I can promise you dismantling is occurring in the non-physical. So it will occur in ways in our systems in the physical. That means that there's going to be truths that are going to be coming out. There's going to be painful truths that are going to be coming out. And there's going to be things that are going to come out about some of the systems that have long been held as rock solid and true. And that will be systems like our financial systems and our medical systems and our government agencies. And there's a lot of countries around the world right now that are actually experiencing the upheavals now. Now, I live in the United States. You don't see a lot of that news here, but you have to be open to seeing what's occurring in other parts of the world, because it directly influences wherever you're at. Just like COVID influenced everybody, these dismantlings are going to, they will and are going to hit everybody at a global level. So it's just a matter of time. And this is not to be a fear-based message. This is about, how do you become neutral? How do you become in your witnessing completely unattached to what it is that you're seeing? That doesn't mean you don't feel. It means that when you feel, you are aware that you're feeling, and then you're not attached to the feeling. Feelings are not meant to be attached to. People that have anxiety are people who get attached to feelings. Emotions are a natural aspect of how we process as humans. However, many people have become very disconnected to their emotional body, and therefore when dismantling occurs in their life and in their world, they become very unstable. And whose responsibility is it to create stability? It's ours. We create stability from the inside out. And as you become more neutral and aligned, what happens on the outside, it won't have the same impact on you as it would for somebody else. Because one, you're watching this video about dismantling, and when it happens, you're going to be like, oh, Kiana mentioned that this dismantling is going to happen. Perhaps this is what she's talking about. Or, oh, my relationship's not going very well. Instead of getting upset that the relationship's not going very well, understand that dismantling is part of a rebirth, and maybe you are supposed to be more aligned in a better type of relationship than you've accustomed yourself to, something that's more aligned with your purpose for your life. So that is what I have to say about dismantling. I could go on and on about this topic, but I do want to see if there's any questions about dismantling, and if not, I will sign off. So I appreciate you all being here. Oh, my glasses are so dirty, I could barely see. Okay, let's see. Somebody asked if I was French. I was going to say oui, but I'm not French, and I have very limited French language. My husband speaks both French and English. He actually speaks 6 languages, because he's not from America, and they learn more languages in other countries than here. But anyways, I digress. No, I'm not French, and I wouldn't even say that I speak the words that I speak very well. And I think he would agree. He's fluent in French. Background is so beautiful. You can't see me? Oh, is that better? Okay. I thought the green trees were nice. Okay. I am just looking to see if there's any questions here. half French and half beautiful. Well, thank you. Okay, I don't see any questions here about dismantling. So I will end by saying this, that anything that is breaking apart is allowing you to create something new. And the creating something new is always going to be done from the now moment. So if you are finding yourself in a relationship or in family situations that are chaotic, then what I would say is just to bring you back to the present moment with I am here, I am here, I am here. Ground yourself in the present moment, knowing that everything that changes and is created is from the present moment. Okay, let's see. Lucy is saying, understanding and politely teaching people how to understand their feelings doesn't actually help you as a person to develop and move forward with the issues that you haven't figured out for a while. Well, Lucy, that's certainly one opinion. I would challenge you that your emotions do not need to be intellectualized. And that is your mind thinking and your mind telling you that your emotions need meaning. Your emotions do not need any meaning. They don't need any logic. They don't care about logic. Emotions serve for one purpose, and that is to be felt. And when you feel an emotion fully, the emotion transmutes and no longer perpetuates. Now, if you're somebody who thinks your way through emotions, what you will notice that you repeat patterns. And that is repeating patterns because the lesson has not been learned. So, Lucy, I would respectfully disagree with you. I think that emotions are a gateway to peace. But so many people think they have to intellectualize their feelings and even think they have to give meaning to their feelings and figure out why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, when it absolutely does not matter why you are feeling what you're feeling. What does matter is that you're feeling, and that you're a feeling human being. And when you are a feeling human being, you are tapping into a technology that you have to process at a much deeper level that's far deeper than your intellect could ever understand. So I would say I'm not teaching people to understand and politely acknowledge their feelings. I don't think you need to understand your feelings at all. I would say that that's a misinterpretation of everything that I teach. So I appreciate that comment though, Lucy, because I think it's good that we have a different experience. And I would say whoever taught you that you need to give intellectual thoughts to your feelings taught you incorrectly. But, you know, that's just me. It's just me here doing what I do. You don't have to agree with me. I'm okay if you don't. Okay. Just looking to see if there's any. I look like I'm getting emotional. Do I look like I'm getting emotional? I mean, you'll see in other videos I cry very easily. Is that emotional? Or I think it's just really, you misinterpreted what I said, and I was just correcting it. And I am very passionate about people being taught incorrectly. So I guess you interpreted fine. I wouldn't say I'm emotional. I'm just excited to open up a new way for people to understand their emotions is absolutely unnecessary. And I think that's a new concept for most people, because I think most people are taught to read a book, name their emotion, which you don't even have to name your emotions. You can if you're trying to understand them, which the intellectual mind, you know, we are very smart, and the mind wants to know what it wants to know, but the mind doesn't need to know the emotion to feel the emotion. So I think the vast majority of people have been taught incorrectly about their emotional body. And I appreciate the opportunity and the question to share a different perspective. So thank you very much for that. And I have no problems being emotional. I've been emotional since I was a little girl. In fact, when my mother was dying, that was one of the things that she said that she appreciated about me is that she appreciated that I was able to express my emotions. The comments are people who don't have anything better to do. I would not engage with the people who are Basil. Emotions are a gateway to more gateways, forks in the road. I think I think when people are in touch with their emotional body, it definitely opens up more perspectives because most people do not process their emotions, they judge them. And therefore, they close their emotional body down. I think that's, Basil, I think what you're saying is when we open up to receiving our emotions, first our emotions become more stable because they don't have to fight to be recognized. So it's beautiful. I love that. I love your interpretation on that. Thank you for sharing. So Lucy is saying, so you don't need to understand, but you're trying to teach understanding. I think, Lucy, we're on two different. I just don't think you're understanding what I'm saying here. So that's okay. I'm not trying to teach understanding. I'm offering a new perspective. So if you don't understand the perspective, that's okay. We're at two different wavelengths. That's okay. Maybe this isn't for you, or maybe you could try not trying to intellectualize it, but find a feeling that you've been feeling and try feeling it all the way through 100%. And that means it has to go physical body, mental body, emotional body, and spiritual body. And you will notice that feeling transmute. So you try it and then you come back and tell me what your experience is. You don't have to intellectualize it. Your experience will serve your understanding and knowing, and that is far more important than your intellectualizing it. Makes sense. But thank you for being here and your comment, and I hope that was helpful. Damien 13 is saying, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom. You know what, Damien? You know, sometimes that rock bottom is exactly what needs to occur in order to rebuild stronger. And I know that sounds like having been rock bottom before, and not like from the bottom of a bottle, but more just like, you know, the pain that I was experiencing, physical, mental, and emotional pain was so intense that, you know, it allowed me to create a new way to be. And one of the things that I did when I was in so much pain is that I made a list of what I would do when I would get out of pain. And I wish I found that list, but I know I've done a lot of things. One of the things, so I made a list of all the things I would do and places I would go. And one of the things I do, you can't see my hair is blonde here because my roots are dark, but I used to be a brunette, really dark brunette. And I decided, you know what, when I get out of this pain, I'm going to go blonde. And that's exactly what I did. So I used that opportunity to create a new way. You know, dismantling is a bit of compassionately witnessing yourself and your own experiencing, and then making different choices that serve the direction you want to go. These Shorts is saying, I love what you're talking about. Lucy, emotionally though, where is the understanding? You don't need to understand emotionally. You just need to experience. That's all emotions are a signal that needs attention. And when you give the attention to the signal will start to shift, change, and transmute. Experiment and try it. You're trying to think, what is this experience going to be like, instead of experiencing your own experience. That's what emotions are. They are an experience, they add to an experience. Okay, well, I appreciate your contributions here. My name is Kiana Sage, and I guide people to peace. If you decide that you want more information about how to process emotions, let me know. And I think that, Lucy, you're just completely misunderstanding everything I'm saying. So, what I would offer to you, Lucy, is to go back over the video and have an experience. Put the video on pause when I'm talking about how to process your emotions, and then have an experience of your emotions, and then see how you feel. But otherwise, if you don't understand what I'm saying, that's okay. You can keep your process if it works for you. All right, you all have a nice day. Thank you for being here. And Martin seems to agree with you, Lucy.